You felt it too, haven't you? That strange stillness in the air. As if something sacred is unfolding in silence. The angels whisper, he hasn't slept. Not truly. Not since your soul touched his in a way he can't explain. There's a war inside his chest, and it begins the moment your name rises uninvited in his thoughts. It doesn't fade with time. It grows, deepens, turns into prayer and ache. You didn't chase him. You didn't force the spark. And yet, it ignited everything. The angels are clear, your energy is not of this world. It was sent, planted, awakened within him by design. There is a divine purpose behind the weight you feel now, the waiting, the longing, the questions that don't seem to have names. He is not merely a passerby in your life. He is part of a sacred assignment. And you, dear soul, are part of his awakening. You were placed on his path to disturb what he thought was settled, to rearrange the truths he used to hide behind, to bring light where he only knew control. The angels say, you were sent to be the mirror, not of who he was, but of who he could become. He's waking up, even if slowly, not to logic, not to reason, but to love, the kind that sees him without masks, the kind that invites him, not to perform, but to feel. Tonight, something is shifting. Not in words. In spirit. He won't say it aloud yet, but his soul is already kneeling at your altar. Before I formed you in the womb I knew you, and before you were born I set you apart. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. He vanishes sometimes, doesn't he? Like fog that dissipates the moment you try to touch it. But it's not rejection. It's protection from himself. The angels say, he's not afraid of you. He's afraid of what you awaken. He has worn strength like a costume. He's learned how to keep affection locked in the furthest room of his chest. And then you came, carrying not a key, but light. You didn't ask him to change. But your presence became a mirror he can't avoid. There's a weight he's been carrying, not from this love, but from loves that cracked and bled and left him undone. Disappointments that taught him, closeness means pain. So now, whenever something real gets too close, he runs. And the angels don't condemn him. They see the battle. They see the wounds behind his silence. He doesn't know how to hold what he's never felt safe enough to receive. He's still trying to understand why your tenderness scares him more than any heartbreak ever did. The push and pull, the disappearing acts, the half-smiles. They're not about you. They're the language of someone still learning to trust joy. Someone who's terrified that love this pure could be real, and terrified even more that it might not last. And yet, the angels say, he doesn't want to let go. Not really. He watches you even when you think he's forgotten. His heart hasn't. You weren't sent to fix him. But your light. It's already softening what fear made hard. Let him walk at his own pace. You are not a storm to be feared. You are the calm after one. You feel it, don't you? That quiet ache of loving someone who doesn't know how to receive you completely. And still, you stayed soft. But now the angels are leaning closer, whispering something sacred to your spirit. Your love is not meant to cost you your light. You've given without expecting. Waited without answers. Held space for him, even when he vanished into the silence of his fears. But you, beloved soul, you deserve to be held too. The angels see how you shine for everyone else, how your strength has become survival, how your gentleness becomes a bridge for others to find healing. But who builds that bridge for you? Who tends to your own heart when it bruises quietly, behind your smile? Tonight, the angels say, she must remember who she is, not for him but for herself. This is not the time to prove your worth through sacrifice. This is not the time to dim your light just to make someone else feel less afraid. You are not meant to shrink so he can expand. You are meant to rise, and let those who are ready to meet you in that rising come. Let your energy flow back into your own soul. Speak gently to yourself. Choose silence when it brings peace. Choose laughter when your spirit longs to be light again. He may come forward. He may still hesitate. But your job isn't to wait in the shadow of uncertainty. Your job is to live. And when you do, when you nurture your own magic, you become undeniable. The angels say, she shines brightest when she remembers she was never lost, only paused. Return to yourself, not as a gesture of strength, but as an act of divine love. He says little, but feels everything. And it's not your words that unravel him, it's your essence. The angels show it clearly. She walked in with grace, and without meaning to, undressed his soul. You didn't ask to become a reflection. But your light, so unwavering and authentic, exposes what he still tries to bury. You stir the waters he thought were still. He sees you, truly. And in seeing you, he's forced to see himself. All the parts he hides. All the places inside he's kept untouched for years. Your presence brings them to the surface like truths rising through silence. It's not that he resists you. He resists what he sees of himself, through you. And so he becomes distant. He overthinks. He pretends not to notice. But every time you walk away, even just a little, he feels the cold return. The angels say, he never feared you. He feared the way your love made him remember who he used to be before the world taught him to shut down. You became his mirror. Not the kind that flatters, but the kind that reveals. And in this revelation, there is both terror and longing. He wants to be the man you already see in him, but he doesn't yet believe that he can become him. So don't take his confusion as rejection. Take it as awakening. It's messy. It's sacred. It's real. Because when love is true, it doesn't flatter the surface. It transforms the soul. It begins in silence. Not with grand gestures, but with stillness, where the soul stirs before the mind can catch up. The angels say, he doesn't even realize he's changing, but he is. He doesn't talk about it. He wouldn't know how. But something inside him is softening, slowly, beautifully. Where once he dismissed what he felt, he now pauses. Where once he could ignore you, he now finds himself craving your presence in moments he can't explain. And it's not always romantic. Sometimes it's as subtle as hearing a song and thinking of you. Or driving through the quiet and feeling your absence like a missing prayer. He wonders if you feel it too. The shift. The invisible string pulling him towards something more real than anything he's known. He may not say your name aloud, but it lives behind everything he does now. The angels whisper, every thought that returns to her is part of his return to himself. He is learning without trying to, that the love he feels for you doesn't need to be earned. It needs to be remembered. This is the beginning of his unraveling, and his rising. Because love, the kind that matters, doesn't burst through the door. It knocks gently. It waits at the soul's edge, until the heart dares to answer. And tonight, he's reaching for the door handle. It always starts the same, doesn't it? He pulls close. Warms your heart. You feel him again. And then, the retreat. The angels say, this is not rejection. This is rhythm. It's not your fault. It's not because you misread the signs. He feels everything. Too much, in fact. And that's the problem. Each time he comes near, he brushes against a truth he's not ready to hold. You represent something that breaks every pattern he's relied on, every armor, every escape, every excuse. So he runs. Not to hurt you, but to buy himself time. Time to come to terms with the parts of him that still believe love must hurt to be real. Time to unlearn the stories that told him connection means losing control. The angels whisper, he disappears not because you are too much, but because you are everything. The cycle isn't personal. It's a loop his soul has experienced for lifetimes. Come close. Panic. Pull away. Regret. Return. You've felt it. The warmth of his gaze one day, the coldness of his silence the next. But inside, he never left. He's just afraid of what remains. Let go of the need to chase. This isn't a race. It's a revelation. Each time he circles back, he carries one less layer of fear. Each return brings him closer to truth. And the truth is, he never truly left. He doesn't say it, but he feels it. In the way his heart softens when your name echoes in his mind. In the quiet moments, when no one is watching, your love is the only thing that quiets the war inside him. The angels say, your love is the salve he didn't know he needed. It didn't come loudly. It didn't demand. It just existed, gently, consistently, like sunlight filtering through a window that's been closed for too long. He didn't believe in healing before. He only believed in survival. Until your compassion rewrote that story. You loved him without needing him to be more than he was. You loved the broken parts too. And in doing so, you awakened the man beneath the wounds. There's a sacredness to this kind of love. It's not performative. It's not perfect. But it is pure. And that purity, it lingers. In the way he thinks twice before speaking harshly. In the way he starts to question old patterns. In the way he remembers how you made him feel safe without asking for anything. The angels whisper, what you gave him is still working. Even in silence. Even in distance. Because real love doesn't vanish when it's unspoken. It settles. Softly. Deeply. Like medicine beneath the surface. And when the time comes, he'll return not because he misses you, but because he finally feels whole enough to stand beside you. You wonder if the waiting has meaning. If the pauses, the silences, the unanswered prayers are just delays or divine alignments. The angels answer, what looks like stillness is heaven moving in ways the eyes can't see. There is a map your heart can't yet read, but it's unfolding. Every step, every tear, every stirring you felt, they're all part of something sacred being woven above you. He isn't behind. You aren't ahead. You're both exactly where spirit needs you to be. This is not a love born of chance. It is a bond written long before this lifetime. And yes, it feels like a test. Because it is. Not of love, but of surrender. Can you trust the delay? Can you honor the ache without making it a cage? Can you believe that even in separation, you are being led back to what is meant? The angels say, she walks the path not with certainty, but with trust, and that is holy. He too is being guided. In his confusion, his hesitation, his quiet longings. He is hearing whispers, feeling nudges, being drawn. He doesn't know yet that it's divine. But he will. Because love like this doesn't end, it returns. The angels seal this truth now with a sacred reminder. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. Wait not with fear, but with faith. The reunion is already written. He carries a silence that isn't emptiness. It's fear dressed as stillness. The angels whisper, he doesn't know how to be seen, and loved at the same time. You feel it, don't you? That hesitation when he looks at you too long. That pullback after something soft passes between you. He's not cold. He's terrified. Of what it means to be fully known. Of what it might cost to let someone into the rooms he's never opened. He wants to love. But he's never learned how to do it without also bleeding. So he builds walls, not to keep you out, but to protect the little boy inside him who never learned safety. The angels say, she touches the places no one else has dared enter. And that awakens everything. There's no roadmap for this kind of intimacy. No script for what happens when soul meets soul and one of them still trembles from past wounds. But here's what the angels want you to know, he sees you. He feels you. And in the quietest parts of him, he's trying. Each time he lets his guard down, even for a second, that's his version of bravery. He wants to trust that you won't run when he reveals the softer parts. That your presence doesn't require perfection. That he's safe to fall apart and still be loved. And so you wait. Not passively, but with patience that becomes a kind of prayer. And maybe tonight, maybe not, he'll finally let that single truth fall from his lips. I'm scared. But I don't want to lose you. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9. There comes a moment, not of answers, but of peace. When the heart no longer demands certainty, because it finally remembers. Love, the real kind, doesn't rush. It returns. It remains. It rises with time, like dawn, inevitable. The angels say, let go of the how. Let go of the when. Hold only the truth, you are already chosen. You've done enough. Loved enough. Prayed enough. Now you rest, not in surrender as defeat, but in surrender as reverence. You are not waiting anymore. You are trusting. Because somewhere out there, he is finding his way, not to you, but to the version of himself that can stand beside your light without shrinking. And when he's ready, when spirit has softened his fear and turned it into faith, he'll arrive. Not to complete you, but to walk beside you. Until then, you are whole. You are radiant. You are enough. The angels whisper one last time, what is yours will know the way. Even in silence. Even in storm. So breathe. Feel the sacred hush. What you've planted in spirit is blooming. You don't need to chase the miracle. You are the ground where it grows.